You see, your boys are back. The big three is back in full effect. Welcome to episode 15 of the Outta Bounds podcast. I go by the name of the Delta Fashionista, the James Harden of this operation, manager editor here at True Reflection Magazine. Alongside me today is the man in the middle, Mr. Donnie. Do not call me Donovan Wilkins. And last but certainly not least, he's back. Our young boy, our young lion, Mr. Noel Austin, aka Kyrie, aka Mr. Euro Step to your girl, aka Mr. Third Eye. How we doing today, fellas?
Chilling, dog. And NBA free agency. That's what I'm chilling, and we looking at the phone at the same time. Like Bleacher Report, it's on deck. So we good.
For sure. How about yourself, Donnie? Before we get into
I'm feeling good, just watching monitoring free agency, trying to get any type of crumb as to where Ben Simmons is leaving, like getting the fuck out of Philadelphia. And now I hear Tobias Harris is being shopped around, and I'm just like, the fuck are we doing?
Man, nobody want to be in Philly right now, man.
I have a bone to pick with Philly. I have a bone to pick with y'all because y'all are smoking a pack. Y'all try to get Toronto to give up an all-star and 4 first. Ben Simmons is not worth a box of Cracker Jacks. He's not even worth a Philly cheesesteak in Philly. And y'all want
I'm going to let him talk.
Y'all want teams to give y'all an all-star and 4 first-round picks? I don't know. This is monkey court. I don't understand what made y'all think to believe that y'all are really gonna. I can't because Toronto was really gonna give up. They wanted Kyle Lowry. They said they wanted Pascal, and then they wanted the two for. Get your team because y'all smoking that pack right now.
Yeah, that's a crazy package.
For a man who underperformed in the playoffs
and can't even average 18 a game.
You got McFlynn, who's in the G League Raptors team, is dropping more points than Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I think what Daryl Morey is trying to do is send out these ridiculous trade offers. So when he does contact the team with a steal per se, they'll look at it like, oh, they got the steal for the trade. So I think that's the route he's going. If that's not the route he's going, then obviously I'm with you, Noel, because he's smoking something. He's smoking something.
That's also a dangerous road to go down because you see out these outrageous packages. That's really telling the league, if that's what he's coming with, we just not going to even pick up the phone. Like literally, if that's what you're coming with for Ben Simmons. And we all just watch the same playoffs, we all watch the same playoffs.
Yeah.
And y'all want that much for Ben Simmons? No. People are not even going to pick up the phone anymore because the Raptors were willing to give up something, and they're like, "Oh, and the Raptors were like, "No, we're good."
Yeah, I'm trying to trust in him after the moves that he made coming into his GM position last year. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I would be lying if I was not saying like, "Yo, my guy, you good? Like you straight?"
Philly, they need Jesus. They need the golden Philly cheesesteak or something because right now.
All right. We're just gonna get into Philadelphia a bit later, but we might as well, since because we like to go with the flow on this show, we might as well stay with the rhythm of what's happening. So, like Donovan, what would you say is a great package for Ben Simmons? A realistic package.
A realistic package, it would have to be a solid playoff experience at point guard. I think that's the only way this is going to happen. Okay, but I do think Daryl Morey is putting Ben Simmons too high on a pedestal. But I do get what he's saying because he is a 3-time All-Star. He is a 2-time all-around defender, and he was in a running for Defensive Player of the Year. So I guess that's what he's basing his value on.
He can't shoot. The game is all about a bucket.
I'm
The
just
thing
telling you
is,
what I think he's
the thing is,
he's basing on.
he can market Ben Simmons as yes, and all like because Ben Simmons was an all-star, he was all these things. That's cool on paper, but what we all literally watched for the past
Yeah,
2 years, if that's what he's coming with, people are not even gonna pick up the phone because that all sounds nice and dandy. But when you see that your
I
star
mean,
player can't make free throws in
I
a
wouldn't
playoff
say that
game,
people wouldn't pick up the phone because people are picking up the phone and turning down offers. I mean, there's still buzz around the league that Ben Simmons is still a hot commodity. So I wouldn't say that people are not picking
Oh,
up the
gotcha.
phone because they're quickly declining the offers.
did he just call Ben
You
Simmons a
know,
hot
do you know how
commodity?
crazy you just sound right now?
Dude, Ben Simmons is a
That's
hot
like
Look, I'm
prospect.
just telling you what the reports are. I'm
no,
just telling you what the reports are.
Talk about. So we got to forward this one because you basically just said it's not like he's not a hot commodity because teams are picking up the phone, but basically they're hanging up the phone at the same time. That's not necessarily a hot commodity, bro. That's like basically saying like, oh, like people are swiping right to me on Tinder,
But
but
they're not messaging me.
exactly. So
But they're
what was the
still looking at your
purpose?
profile, right? They're still looking at your profile, right?
So wait. So you would rather
Considering
someone
it.
so you would rather someone just look be like, oh, that's okay, and then just not message you.
As opposed to not picking up the
I'd rather
phone?
just
Yes,
swipe left.
absolutely.
I'd
Even
rather just
worse,
swipe
even
left.
worse, you
That's
reach out
worse.
to them and they never hit you back up.
That's
But I'm saying that is what teams are doing. Like they're hitting them up. There's communication back and
the
forth.
only reason
So
why I
it's not
say
like people are just like not picking up
no.
his
I'm
phone
saying in
call.
the future, if he keeps giving these outrageous packages that would not even go through an NBA 2K, like those packages wouldn't even go
That's
through
what
an
I was
NBA.
thinking. That's what I was
Like even if
thinking.
he did a my league and he tried to it is just Ben Simmons. They're gonna have to give more than just Ben Simmons. They're gonna have to give Ben
Yeah.
Simmons or like some picks, somebody else, maybe a bench player or something because you're just solely Ben Simmons. At best, you're
I mean,
maybe
they're trying to acquire Buddy Hill with a deal with Tobias Harris. So
okay. They give okay if they can get De'Aaron Fox if Sacramento wants to put De'Aaron Fox in there and have
I
that.
don't think they would though. I mean, they
De'Aaron
turned
Fox
down
would
our
be
offer
nice.
earlier.
I mean, hey, 76ers. I don't know. It's NBA free agency. Anything can happen.
For sure. Speaking of free agency, because ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, we normally record our podcast on Monday evenings. So by the time this episode released, who knows what news might have broken with an NBA free agency. But before we came on the air, a lot of transactions transpired within the free agency wire. Some of those being for my Dallas Maverick, Tim Hardaway Jr. We signed for the team for 4 years, $72 million. I think that's a
Ooh.
rich of a contract for my blood, but it is what it is. The New York Knicks, they're re-upping, basically trying to keep most of their core. Alec Burks, we signed for 3 years. No, Nerlens Noel, excuse me, we signed for 3 years for 32 million. And Alec Burks, we signed for 3 years for 30 million. We have Kelly Olynyk, we signed with the Detroit Pistons for 3 years for 37 million. Jimmy Butler signed a max extension
Extension.
for
Yeah.
4 years for 184 million, according to Shams. We have Kyle Lowry, who signed with the Miami Heat for 3 years as a part of a sign and trade deal with the Toronto Raptors. No, you're a Raptors fan, so how do you feel about Kyle Lowry leaving Jurassic Park?
I think Kyle Lowry will. He's always been a part of the city of Toronto. He's gonna be missed as a crucial piece in the city of Toronto. It's not. There's no bad blood, but it's gonna be different. But I think it was time for I think it's time for the Raptors to kind of find their new core. When we had Kawhi, we won the chip, and then when Kawhi left, we're still trying to find our identity without Kawhi now. So I think to wield and deal Kyle Lowry to for the future, I think the Raptors are moving in a good direction and with the draft of Scotty Barnes, and a good big man. So I think they're just preparing for the future and trying to just find their foundation. So I mean, Kyle Lowry is he gonna do good on the Heat? Debatable, but
Yeah, I mean, like the Miami Heat, they caught a lot of people by surprise in the bubble last year by making a run to the finals. This year, they just got waxed in the first round by the Milwaukee Bucks. They just got swept. Kyle Lowry, I'm not. He's a talented point guard. He's a vet. He's an NBA champion. He's a dog. But I just do not feel that he basically puts them over the hump. Like if this is all Miami has in store, like this Kyle Lowry, the pen with Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. And they're
Like
undersized too because the Raptors aren't really hurt, but it's not a big blow because again we have Fred VanVleet, and we just signed Fred VanVleet last year to an extension. And the thing is, when we won the chip at Golden State, Fred VanVleet was the one really to come in and drop the buckets to kind of get over that hump. So us really getting rid of Kyle Lowry isn't a big blow to us. And then like the Heat severely undersized. You have Jimmy Butler, pretty decent size, and it's just like you think Bam, Kyle Lowry, and Jimmy Butler is gonna get you. It's not the bubble anymore. You have crowds. You're in the arena now. This isn't the bubble. Do you think that team can get you back to where you were like a year or two ago? And then Tyler Hero is not even playing at the level he did in the bubble. So again, it's just like, is Kyle Lowry that piece to kind of get y'all over that hump again? That's the question they got to be asking themselves.
time will tell. Like even right now, I still don't think the Miami Heat are better than the Milwaukee Bucks. Even with Kyle Lowry, I don't think they're
No, I
better
don't
than.
think nobody thinks that.
I don't think they're better than a healthy Brooklyn Nets team.
They're not
Um,
even better than the Hawks right now. Real honestly, I think the Hawks are going to give them even the Miami Heat a run for their
I
money.
think Atlanta they basically just caught a lot of people by surprise. I don't think I'll put Miami above Atlanta right now.
Okay.
I put because John Collins and the Atlanta Hawks franchise. They basically far apart on a contract extension.
Nah, Collins just said that they're working. They're working on his extension right like today.
Okay,
So yeah, and then Cam Reddish is healthy. Um, so it's like I'm gonna take a Cam Reddish, John Collins, Trey Young. Then you got Sharif Cooper coming off a scoring point. Yeah, I'm gonna take Atlanta on that one.
it's gonna be a problem. And also, other free agency news: Jared Allen has agreed to a 5-year, $100 million contract extension to stay with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Keep in mind, he is a restricted free agent, so other teams could come in and offer more money, and then Cleveland had the option to try to match it. So we'll see what happens with that. And then probably the biggest news to come out of today: Lonzo Ball is heading over to the Chicago Bulls as part of a sign and trade agreement. He basically was signed with the Bulls for 4 years, 85 million. And the Bulls basically sent over Tomas Satoransky and Garrett Temple, and a second round pick to the New Orleans Pelicans for Lonzo Ball. So how do we feel right now, ladies, fellas, about the
About to
Bulls?
call ladies.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, it is 2021. I mean, however,
Gotta be included.
gotta be inclusive. Gotta be
Bro,
inclusive.
I was trying to hope that nobody caught that, but damn. See,
Nah, you
no,
not.
no,
Yeah.
you're sharp, young brother.
Amen. Amen. Hey,
Nothing slips
listen.
past you. Nothing
Nah,
slips past you.
nah.
But I, my niggas.
He said, "Oh, so now derogatory, Doctor
Right,
Umar."
yeah.
Now, Doctor Umar would not like
All
that.
right,
I'm
so,
kidding.
all right, fellas. So, how do we feel about Lonzo Ball of the Chicago Bulls with Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic? Do you think that will basically help propel the Bulls to the top 8 in the Eastern Conference?
No.
I mean, Donovan, go ahead because I went on a tyrant last time.
No, I mean they just don't have enough star power. I mean, yeah, they're
You're
bringing in a solid point guard and what?
you're right onto a bad take. They don't have enough
That's
star
right. You're
power.
already off to a bad start, buddy.
No, they don't.
They don't have star power. It's Zach Levine, the buddy who was just dropping
Zach LaVine is an all star. Nikola Vucevic is an all
all
star.
star. Lonzo Ball.
In my eyes, they ain't.
But
I
Ben,
totally forgot
but,
the
And
Bulls
Ben
were a
but
team.
Simmons
Ben,
is. And
but
Ben
Ben Simmons
Simmons
is.
is.
Yeah, because Ben Simmons was the runner-up for Defensive Player of the
Oh
Year,
my
and he made the
God.
All-Star.
See, already,
Bro.
But you're
why?
asking me if I would take Zach LaVine over Ben Simmons? 100%, yeah.
This man,
This dude's a Philly
everybody.
homer right here.
If
Like,
you're new to the Out of Bounds podcast, I am sincerely sorry because that take is hot garbaggio. Like, what did you just said? You're taking Ben. Zach Levine is running circles. over.
Wait, what are
No,
you
no,
talking about? I said I'm
no,
taking Zach LaVine over
no,
Ben
no,
Simmons.
no. You fucked up. He did say he'll take Zach LaVine over Ben
Oh, I thought
Simmons.
he was about to say you taking
But
Ben Simmons.
what he went wrong is that he said that Zach LaVine is not an all
Yeah,
star,
that they don't have
Oh
stars.
which is
no,
crazy to
they
me.
do. What are you talking? What?
I mean, I think they're still like a young team
Nah, Zach Levine's in his mid-20s.
and
Luka Doncic.
directionless.
I mean,
What?
huh? Directionless. They
Yeah.
just got Lonzo Ball, who is a pretty
This man,
good playmaking, facilitating point guard that Zach Levine desperately needed to get him
ladies and
open shots.
gentlemen,
Yeah, like
ladies.
I said, there was only him in Chicago. Nobody else.
No. We're not doing. Ladies and gentlemen, like Noel said, if this is your first time tuning into Out of Bounds podcast, please do not let the comments from the man in the middle here, Donnie Wilkins, dissuade you from liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to this channel, and hitting that
I
notification.
don't know what more do you want from me. I already said I'm taking over Zach
What do you
LaVine
want from me?
over Ben
Bro,
Simmons.
like you're talking like the Chicago Bulls, like they literally have nobody on the team. Like you're acting like Zach
You're talking
LaVine
about
is
the
a
Chicago
nobody.
Bulls the way we should be talking about the Philadelphia 76ers.
Exactly.
Whoa.
If the
No,
Chi- if the
that's
Chicago Bu-
personal.
if Philly has Zach LaVine, they beat Atlanta.
Exactly. If literally that's how much of a difference. If Philly had Zach LaVine and Ben Simmons was not playing, he was on the bench, they
I
would have
mean,
beat Atlanta.
if we had anybody
Because
besides
Zach
Ben
LaVine dropping
Simmons,
at least 30. At least 30.
At least.
At
yeah.
literally bare minimum, bare minimum, Zach LaVine probably drop a smooth 25 on a
And
bad day.
and he's cooking in the Olympics right now.
On a bad day, Zach LaVine dropping 25, 8. Maybe he'll get you 5, 6 assists.
I'm not saying that Zach LaVine isn't a star power. Like
Oh my god.
He's just not in
it's because
Philadelphia.
The fact that we're even having this discussion is an abomination. Like the fact that this is even a discussion is an abomination.
But Noel said it. He's not Philly. He was supposed to sign a couple of years ago. No, I already given up on Ben.
Ladale, he is right. Zach LaVine is not Philly because he's actually a winner. Ben Simmons sucks. You're right. You're absolutely
Wait, hold on.
right.
Time out. We can't say Zach LaVine is a winner either. We can't say
Right?
that.
Because when's the last time they've been in the playoffs?
You're telling me Ben Simmons and Zach LaVine switch spots. Zach LaVine actually now has help with Joel Embiid.
They get to the Eastern Conference Finals easy
For sure.
Yeah.
And they're contesting with the Bucks. It's gonna be that series will probably go to a game 7. That series would most likely go to a game 7.
100%, Donovan.
So
100%.
But
I don't know what he's talking about.
But I didn't say nothing about Zach LaVine not being good.
You just said he's
I'm
not
just
Philly.
saying.
You just said he's not Philly.
Bro,
I'm just bitter that he didn't sign a couple of years ago.
You made Zach
Bro,
you literally just made Zach LaVine sound like a 78 overall with bronze badges.
Oh, then my bad. That was not the intention that I had.
You literally made Zach LaVine sound like this man did not have like the 2 best dunk contests. Like
I mean, are we still putting the dunk contest valid? Because I sure as hell don't.
Bro,
when he was in it, yes.
When he was that was
okay,
valid.
yeah. When he was in it, and Aaron Gordon was, yeah.
Niggas were
that was the last great dunk contest.
Niggas were wanting to watch the dunk contest when Zach LaVine was in it. Yes. So
yeah.
And Aaron Gordon, yes, they had probably one of the best of this basketball. One of the best dunk contests.
Yeah, everybody was watching it.
Years. So yes, we're still talking about that. It's still valid. Yes. But no, the fact that the conversation is he's not Philly enough to be. I just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, even you were to get this play that we're about to bring up right now, like even he'll be better than Ben Simmons because although like this, so as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is all that we have in terms of like free agency news that has broken. But none of the names that we mentioned are bigger than the name that basically got traded over this past weekend. That is Mr. Russell.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but we got 2. This is live, people. This is an Out of Bounds live free agency podcast. Trae Young gets $170 million extension from the Atlanta Hawks, which is deserved.
Yeah.
And Pacers signed TJ McConnell to a $35 million 4-year deal for the Pacers. So T.J. McConnell is going to the Pacers.
That's a waste of money.
Wait, he was already with the Pacers, right?
He
TJ
gave him an
McConnell?
extension.
He resigned.
Okay.
He basically
He-signed.
resigned.
But yeah, Trae Young gets a deserved $170 million. I think Trae Young
Indiana,
deserves
they
it.
basically spent $35 million for a dude that's basically all he does is just play hard nosed defense.
Hey man, get your money. Hey, I'm never gonna
What's wrong with that?
What did Floyd say, bro? This is legalized robbery, bro.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, but $35 million for a gritty role.
Yeah, that is. I mean,
Hey.
I love TJ McConnell. He was one of the OGs of the process, but yeah, that is a lot of money.
All I'm saying is this: if TJ McConnell is getting $35 million, Derrick Rose better get 50.
A bag. Derrick Rose guy gets at least 60. The way he was playing in New York, gotta get a bag. Simple.
And rumor has it that Derrick Rose might end up going back to Chicago.
Bro, if he goes back, he's retiring. If he goes back to Chicago, wait. Listen. Derrick Rose goes back to. I'm a Derrick Rose fan. That's one of my favorite players. If he goes back to Chicago, that would be the sweetest way to end off a career. That's a full circle moment. I want to see that happen.
For sure. But one of the players that Derrick Rose was heavily compared to when he was in his prime was that Russell Westbrook. They came out one draft class apart, but they were both guys are basically two of the most athletic point guards in NBA history. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure. But Russell Westbrook, unfortunately, my man is starting to turn into a journeyman right now. Right now, he just got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. This is his third team in the past 4 years.
That's crazy.
So how do we feel about him as a fit with this Lakers roster? Do you think it's a good mix?
I've had this. The amount of times me and my friends have had this conversation, the only thing I can say is the biggest threat to the Los Angeles Lakers is a 3-point line. Just because there's nobody on that roster that is a consistent shooter. And if I'm any team playing the Lakers, you don't need perimeter defense at that point. LeBron's gonna drive. AD, if he does shoot, not gonna be. And Andre Drummond's the only one trying to get bored. And you know what I'm saying. So it's like to play defense against the Lakers. There's no consistent shoot. There's no shooting threat. There was a picture that surfaced when I think Russell Westbrook played in Houston. They let him shoot threes, and he missed those threes. And that's the dude you just signed for $44 million. And that's the dude who you think is going to get you to the finals again. No, with LeBron and AD. AD's the only one that can kind of shoot from three consistently. But now if he's out, if he's playing a stretch 4, stretch 5, and he's out there, who's going to get the boards? Andre Drummond?
Bro, I'm basically hearing a lot. They try to say that AD is supposed to play more of the 5 this year.
So he's going to be a stretch 5. Because
he's supposed to play center.
And I'm not sure how that's going to work out given his injury history.
So who's the Lakers rounding starting 5 or potential starting 5 right now?
Right now, we got
is Westbrook.
Let's just say KCP for right now. Right? I think is he still there?
No, he went to Washington. He was part of that Kyle Kuzma deal, I believe.
David Caldwell Pope. No, he's still a Laker.
Caldwell Pope is still a Laker.
Do not give out wrong information, Donovan.
Yes, Donovan.
Do not
look. I saw K and
you know you're a dream chaser.
I just automatically assumed they shipped his ass out.
Nah.
So
Lakers.
You got KCP at the 2, LeBron at the 3. AD supposed to play the 5, right?
So who's the 4? Because they got rid of Kuzma.
Markieff Morris.
That's gonna get y'all to the finals.
I mean, you ain't got Kuz no more. So next man up is either him or Jared Dudley. Which one you want?
Matter of fact, put Morris back in.
That's my boy Jared Dudley, because my man is getting paid 7 figures to be a hype man, and I respect the hustle. I respect it.
Him and Udonis Haslam, bro.
Buddy there just to collect a check, work out. Buddy's getting paid to stay in shape, free
Shit.
basketball games, free entry.
Not even in shape.
That's a dream job right there. If an NBA role player is a dream job. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a dream job. I ain't gotta do that much. I love basketball. We cool. Like, yes. Like, but you're telling me that a lineup of AD at the 5, Marquise Morris at the 4, LeBron the 3, Caldwell Pope at the. I know it's Horton Tucker. Horton Tucker is probably gonna be starting at the 2, and then you're gonna have Russell Westbrook, and that's gonna get you to the finals. No consistent shooter.
No shooters.
You have AD playing a stretch 5. He's not gonna be in the paint because he's gonna be shooting threes. So he's not gonna be in the paint.
Isn't AD scared to play the center or something like that? That's why they moved him back to the 4.
To the 4. That's why they had to get Andre Drummond. Because if AD could play the 4 and the 5, you would have. AD's 6'11". You would have had AD in the 5 a while ago. So it's like, and that's why he got injured. And so now, he's gonna be playing as a pure 4 or a stretch 4 at this point. There's no consistent shoot. My only issue with the Lakers is there's no consistent shooting. There's no player like when LeBron was in Cleveland. You had Kyle Korver, you had a J.R. Smith, you had these players that when you needed a bucket, they could at least get you 6 points.
While you're sitting on a bench
or something. What like a person that can consistently get you the buckets when you need it. I wanted them to get Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield's at least you have someone like Buddy Hield to get you a bucket when you need it.
They were gonna get him, but the Westbrook deal fell to their last. So like, all right, Russell Westbrook, Buddy Hield, Russell Westbrook, Buddy Hield. I personally would have not that I think Buddy Hield's a better player than Russell Westbrook, but I personally would have went with Buddy Hield because he makes more sense for that roster. But
exactly, it makes more sense.
But this is how the LeBron James super teams are, man. Which brings me to this next point. Like, it seems like LeBron is he trying to break the NBA with these constant super teams? Because in Miami, he had D Wade, he had Chris Bosh, even his role players were all stars. Rashard Lewis, he even had Mike Bibby at one point. Dan Williams, that was a bad fit. He was just trash by that point. Ray Allen, he goes back to Cleveland. He gets Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson was never an all-star, but he was like a 20 points per game scorer in his prime. J.R. Smith was 6th man of the year with the Knicks. Who else he had over there? I mean, he had some dogs. And then he goes to the Lakers. Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo. Here goes. He got the
no, but what's our definition of a super team?
A super team is basically a team of like all stars or like past their prime all-stars that just turn to role players.
No.
So all right. So let's use that definition. If they're past their prime, will we still consider them like part of the super team?
I got you.
Yes, they are.
A super team is a team literally fabricated, created of just pure all-stars. That's just what a super team was. I don't consider Golden State I don't consider them a super team.
Because they drafted that.
Because they just so happen to have really good scouts. They drafted Klay Thompson. They drafted Steph Curry. They got Andre Iguodala. They drafted Draymond Green. They built that. They didn't fabricate it. What LeBron does, he fabricates these teams. I wouldn't say tampering, but LeBron will go to the All-Star. Everyone says every time All-Star weekend happens, there's tampering.
It's tampering because a lot of these dudes that they get are signed to Clutch Sports. Rich Paul's PR sports agency. Like, come on, like
Rich Paul, go.
It is tampering.
I'm gonna give Rich Paul his credit because he's pulling off these deals. But let's
props to Rich Paul, but let's call it for what it is.
Yeah, let's call it a spade. LeBron is making these like he did it in Cleveland. Like he just makes these teams. That's what a super team to me is. A team that is literally fabricated for the purpose of just having big names on that team. Not drafted, not signed in free agency. We have one star going out to get these players. And so I love Russell Westbrook coming to play back in LA. He's an LA kid. That's dope. But is that team going to go to a finals and win a finals while Giannis is doing his thing now? While there's a lot of other young foundation starting teams that are faster, can run faster, have depth in their – like the thing is the Lakers only have a bench. Like when the Raptors won their championship, we had a bench. When Kyle Lowry came off, Fred VanVleet came on.
The
OG,
Lakers,
like
I think they're gonna be all right bench wise because they gonna have a lot of guys. They gonna sign for the vet minimum just to play there. Like I'm hearing
Yeah,
Dwight Howard might want to come back.
experience.
Dwight Howard might want to come back. Who knows? They might be able to get JJ Redick. No guys like that.
vet
So,
minimum, a vet min.
yeah, so
I
they'll
mean,
be all right.
I mean, at least get JJ Redick. Don't give you his 3-point percentage is still good, even though JJ Redick is in his mid-30s. JJ Redick can still be a catch
Still
and
a
shoot
good
option.
person coming off the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a catch and shoot option. You design a play for him to be in the corner. You pass him when he's open. He'll shoot the 3. That's what they need. If they want to win a championship, that's what they need. You can't have a playmaking slashing point guard in Russell Westbrook and then a slashing playmaking forward in LeBron James and have no one who can just shoot the ball.
But
Because
my
everything's just
thing
going to be in the paint.
But my thing is like, bro, like how does this team just makes no sense? Russell Westbrook, he needs the basketball. He chases triple doubles. Like he can't shoot. He can't shoot free throws. LeBron James, another player that's ball
He
dominant.
dominates the ball.
Both of these guys could get you triple doubles any given night.
But the thing is, here's the thing: is Russell Westbrook is he's gonna enter the same thing that Kyrie entered, is where LeBron's gonna be like, "You not getting your triple doubles," because that's just really the fact. That's the fact. Like that's what happened to Kyrie. Like LeBron. Like I think that's why Kyrie went through his little phase.
To be
He's
fair,
like,
Kyrie was never a triple double.
well, not even a triple double, but he's not gonna be the number one option because Kyrie was in Cleveland before LeBron came back, and he was their number one option.
Oh yeah, Russ is easily the third option on this team. Easy the third option on this
But the
team.
thing is, can Russell handle that? Can he handle being the number 3 option?
No.
That's his.
Because we saw how it was looking in Houston at the beginning. He did not look like the same Russell Westbrook, and then all of a sudden they traded Clint Capella. They opened up things for Russ, and then he was started cook. He started cooking again. Started getting triple doubles. He goes to Washington. He starts so slow because of his injuries.
Catches
They
up.
open everything up for him, and he started to look like Russell Westbrook of old. He's not gonna be able to do that in LA because him basically. I'm not. By the way, do not crucify me. Do not give me a tech or anything when I say this, but Russell Westbrook and LeBron James are essentially the same player in terms of style, in terms of how they play the game.
No,
Yeah.
that's valid. That's not a take. That's valid. That's a valid take because they are like they need the ball. They
So
need
like,
to
who's
run
gonna
it.
give here? Like
That's
Russell
why I was
Westbrook
like curious as to why, like, what was the purpose of getting Westbrook so he can play at home or like?
Yeah, do you want to alternate these guys off the court? Like because the whole thing for me is just like it just doesn't make sense. Like you have these two players that, like you just said, play basically the same style of basketball. Now it's
Huge
like
egos.
huge egos. Not even huge. Well, LeBron has an ego, but I would say it's a huge ego. But you look
LeBron
at
has
the
an
Nets,
ego, bro.
like you look at the Nets, and the Nets needed time. But the Nets, what the thing about the Nets is, they had to understand their roles. Kyrie knew his role. James Harden knows his role. KD knows his role. All 3 of those guys can score. But it's like, okay, who's scoring tonight, or who's going to be the top scorer? And they said, okay, KD's probably going to be it. Whoever the scorer is, cool. They know their role. If Russ goes to LA with this idea that I'm going to be able to be vintage Russ, and they're going to open up the offense to me, it's not going to work because you're not the number one guy now. You're playing with arguably one of the best people to ever play basketball, and then you're playing with AD. You're going to be the number 3. You're going to be the Horace Grant to the Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. You're not going to be that guy
And
right now.
neither of them are going to want to come off the bench. So
No, Russell Westbrook is not coming off the bench, and AD is not coming off
exactly.
the bench.
And LeBron ain't either. So it's just
so you're gonna have 3 play. Yeah, I think the Lakers just dug themselves into a deeper situation now. Because now you got to figure out. Now you have to control 3 different egos, and now you have to control 3 players. Really, Hall of Fame players into. Okay, y'all got to share the ball now. Y'all got.
yeah. I think it's going to start to sink in like after the high of acquiring the big names and stuff like that, and the fanization of it. It'll start to sink in.
But that's the thing that we've seen throughout this year's NBA Finals. Now, granted, you might have to put an asterisk on it because there were a lot of injuries. But
that's sports.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that.
No.
Nope.
Injuries are
come
not,
on, bro. Like
no. Injuries are not. No, that's what you sign up to do. That's sports. You're gonna get injured just because the big name players got injured that doesn't mean that doesn't take away that Giannis won a chip. I'm not
Oh
a big
no! Oh
Giannis
no!
fan.
Oh no!
But
I'm 100% with you on that. But I'm just saying, like, well, basically the point I'm trying to make is this, like, because everybody might be saying, oh, like, look at the NBA Finals. We had Giannis and Chris Middleton versus Devin Booker and Chris Paul.
mhm.
The rest of the support cast aren't what you consider to be like super team caliber.
Yeah, the
You
role
know,
play. It's a basketball team. It's role
they
players.
play team ball,
Yeah,
but the teams that they got through along the way, especially like in the case of Milwaukee, Miami, all right, they washed them. Brooklyn, let's be
yeah,
for real. Like they were getting their ass whooped when they had Kyrie and James Harden both healthy.
yeah,
They were waxing them. As soon as they get hurt, then the series teetered in their favor.
that's
They
Yeah,
basically KD. If KD would have had his big toe behind the 3-point line, the Brooklyn Nets are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's
you
how
said the
close it
final, not
was,
NBA finals.
huh?
Oh no, you said Eastern Conference. My bad. I'm
Yeah,
tripping.
because the one that's
Yeah,
ended
yeah,
up
I'm
playing
tripping.
Atlanta.
They play Atlanta. I'm tripping.
No,
Yeah,
Trey Young
that's
gets hurt. Either I think Milwaukee they still would have won that series
yeah,
anyway. But Trey Young got hurt. Either he played through it and whatnot, but he wasn't 100%.
yeah.
Down the West, the Suns they get through LeBron, AD, and the Lakers, but AD got hurt. Then in the second round, they played the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray wasn't there. That's a big piece. That's 20 points gone.
Hmm.
Denver they even had Will Barton, so they had the Nuggets playing with two backup guards starting in the playoffs. That's heavy right there. And
Yeah,
then the conference finals, they play the Clippers. Kawhi get hurt.
yeah, but
So
here's the thing. Like, I totally understand what you're saying. A lot of big important pieces were out this playoffs. It it's hard for me to take pity on a professional basketball player who's getting paid millions of dollars to shoot a ball through a hoop.
oh,
Your best player is out.
okay,
You're still
Charles.
getting paid millions. Step up. That's it. Like, I don't.
it's not even.
What?
It's not
It's
even
not
the
even
step.
so
It's
much
not even.
that
It's not even.
though.
It's not so much that. For me, it's just sports. Like injuries happen, and coincidentally, the injuries worked in those two teams' favor to be able to play team basketball and not go against like Milwaukee not be able to go against the three-headed dragon of KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. It just played in their favor. But that is what makes sports sports. People are going to get injured. Star players get injured all the time. That is a thing that just happens, and coincidentally, it just worked in their favor. It doesn't. I think the only asterisk final I could think of is probably the bubble. I would really that's an asterisk final because like, okay, we're in the bubble. It was kind of meh,
Yeah,
but this
different
finals was
situation.
this final was a real deal, and injuries just played in those two teams' favors. That's all you can really say about it. But to say that it was a cakewalk, no, you still had to play against Jokic, who was the MVP of the
Yeah.
Suns had to play against Jokic, who was the MVP of the league. Milwaukee still played against a Cinderella story of a Hawks team. They still played against the Nets, and they almost lost to the Nets. So it's like it wasn't so much of a cakewalk. It's just coincidences happen, and they just played in those two teams' favors.
The way I see it, a ring is a ring. So I'm not really too like 10 years from now, nobody's gonna remember the scenario.
Yeah,
It's
they're
all
just
about
gonna know
okay,
that
like
they won it.
did you win the chip? All right,
Yeah,
they won the chip. I don't really too much consider the bubble to be too much of an asterisk because it's a neutral playing field, obviously. So basically, you don't have to worry about like travel or anything like that. It's just like the best team is just gonna hoop. Now Miami, I don't know how the hell they still got to the finals, but hey, it is what it is. They got there. In this case, I think it's more of an asterisk because we did not see a lot of the best players play. And then what the NBA is teaching us right now is, as we're seeing with these super teams being formed, like LeBron getting Russell Westbrook, he has AD. It's like okay, like forget all that noise. Forget what you just saw with the Bucks versus the Suns. Those were not the two best teams in the NBA. That's basically the message that it seemed like this move is sending out to us. Like, nah, you still need to stack your chips. You still need to have three All Stars to compete for a ring. That's what LeBron's and this Lake. This is what I say LeBron because let's be real, LeBron he's like the real GM of the Lakers here. Like wherever he
yeah.
wants, he's gonna get. That's what this move signifies to me. Like, nah, we're not past the super team era. Like,
No, I think we are.
No.
I think we are. I think
we
again.
should be, but I
I
think a
think
move like
the
this
Olympics and the
sets
national
us
team
up.
is showing that as well. Like you have teams like France, Australia, Nigeria, not a lot of
Yeah.
big name players, but they're playing efficient, consistent team basketball, and that's beating this
It's
superstar
a different
basketball
game, though.
thing.
It's a different game. It's a
I mean,
different
that's a
style of
different game,
basketball.
but you come back. I mean, even Milwaukee playing really good team basketball, having faith in your Chris Middleton, your Drew Holidays, your guys come off the bench, and you actually having a good chemistry, fundamental team that can win you a championship. Because essentially, that's what Golden State was. Golden State was just an efficient team, drafted their players, great chemistry, and they played well together. That's really it. It wasn't fabricated. So I don't believe you need a super team. I believe star power helps, and star power is needed. You look at Chicago; they need more star power. That I'm not saying you don't, but you don't need this abundance of big names to win a chip. I don't think you do.
And I agree with that. I just don't think that. I just think having 3 All-Stars is just overkill, especially in 2021.
I think the most you should have is like two, one in the backcourt and one in the
Yeah.
front court.
I mean, what would be crazy if the NBA makes it like a delegation to where like you can only have so many All Stars on your team. If it
But
ever
how would
got
they
bad,
regulate that?
Yeah,
if it
like
ever
how would you
got
regulate that?
bad, they would have to rule that if like a player has more than 3 All-Star appearances, you can only have like 2 or 3 players with more than this many
Oh.
All-Star appearances. If it really ever got to that bad of a point where the NBA had to step in and be like, y'all can't do this no more.
LeBron James would be one of the first players banging on the table, talking about how that's a dumbass rule and that he's not gonna allow it. Trust me.
He probably would be.
Trust
Because
me.
and the thing is, everyone said Michael had help. It's like, bro, LeBron had more help. Like this conversation
For
that
sure.
Michael, LeBron has had
People
way more help.
people that said that MJ had more help are either two things. They're either young, very young, like your age, or
Yeah,
casuals.
or casual because like Mike had Scotty, who is a Hall of Famer, and it's like, really, Mike was really on a Giannis tip. Like you had another player, but really, he had role players. Like you had Steve Kerr, Dennis Rodman wasn't a scorer,
Tony
but he was
Kukoc,
Horace Grant.
Dennis Rodman was a role player. Let's be for
Yeah,
real. He was a
he
Hall of
was.
Fame.
I mean, I always find the argument of who was better in their who had the most help in either or who had the easiest
Rings.
era or stuff like that is stupid as fuck. I mean, in my eyes, and this is my own personal opinion, there is no straight answer to who is the greatest basketball player of all time.
It's
Who is the
subjective.
greatest basketball player of their generation?
All right,
Yes.
I agree with that.
I
That
agree.
is
It's
subjective.
subjective.
That is
Yeah,
subjective.
you can't.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
people like to say that, oh, MJ has 6 rings and this and that, but if
I think
I
again,
feel
it's
like we
a
forget
issue.
Bill Russell, who
Yeah.
has 11.
All right, Tom, that's a casual take. That's a casual take because Bill Russell, when he won hit those rings, there was only like
It was
It was
7
only
All-Star
like
teams in the
7,
league.
right?
Wasn't Buddy
Yeah.
like 7 feet and he was playing with these small white dudes? Like,
Yeah.
That was Will Chamberlain. Bill Russell was only like 6'9" or something like that. He
But
was.
then
But
he was playing
I'm
against
just using an argument. That's what a lot of people say. Oh well, MJ was 6-0 and 6 rings in the finals and stuff like that. But I'm like, you could say the same thing about Bill Russell. And
You can, but you can't because MJ went against more competition.
yeah,
MJ went through a lot more competition.
that's why I say
with role players,
MJ's
like,
the GOAT of his generation,
like
and
that's like
LeBron is the GOAT of his
the best
generation.
way. Who is the biggest power forward at the time? Like if MJ played with Shaq, if MJ just had Shaquille O'Neal on the Bulls, they're never losing. They would probably have never lost for a while. Like so, it's like you have AD with LeBron. Like, yeah, LeBron has had way significantly more help than MJ has had when it came to making a team to win a championship.
I'm gonna put it like this in terms of who had more help, and I'm only gonna focus on second options, right? Like the Roberts to the Batman. It's like MJ, LeBron, they're like Batman, right? Okay. Michael Jordan, his second best player that he ever had was Scottie Pippen, correct?
Correct.
We all universally agree with that. LeBron James. I'm just focused quickly on his championship teams here. With the Heat, D Wade or Scottie Pippen, who you taking?
D Wade. No, that's not even a question. That's not a question.
Thank you. All right. Cleveland, Kyrie Irving or Scottie Pippen, who you taking?
Kyrie's
Kyrie.
classic. He banged that shit. Yeah, no, Kyrie. I'm sorry.
Anthony Davis or Scottie Pippen? Who you taking?
Anthony Davis. This is not it. Anthony Davis. I mean,
Thank
he
you.
has a point. He literally has a
Thank you.
point.
So can we stop making Scottie Pippen sound like he was like this, like he was that guy? Because he wasn't.
I think it's just because people know that name from the
He's just a Hall of
95-96
Fame. Like
Bulls.
the reason Scottie Pippen's a Hall of Famer. He had a
Oh
pretty
yeah, no
decent
doubt. He's one
career.
of the 50 greatest players of all
Yeah,
time. But if we
he's
want to update
known.
that list, which they're going to this year, because the NBA going to release their 75 anniversary team,
Yeah,
a lot of the
Oh
names are
shit!
jumping. A lot of names are jumping ahead of Scottie Pippen.
for
All those names
sure.
that I just mentioned are jumping ahead of him.
There's a lot. Yes, for sure. Like significantly.
You could even argue Chris Bosh is better than Scottie Pippen.
He's not wrong. He's
In
not
terms
wrong.
of, in terms of like
I
the
gotta
numbers
give
and
you
accolades,
that.
He's not wrong.
But we also have to take into account how the game has changed over time.
That's true. You have a lot more
you
ISO
can, but
ball.
Scottie Pippen, the way he played back then, he would basically be the Ben Simmons of today.
Yo, he's 3 for
That's
3
why I
right
always
now.
that's why I always find it hard
I'm not missing
for
this episode. I'm hitting on
people
everything. Like,
to.
he'll basically be Ben Simmons of today.
That's why I find it hard
I
for people
mean,
to debate different eras and stuff like that because it's like the game today is vastly different from the game that was
it's
played
not
in the
hard though.
90s and the
I
80s
mean,
and
it's
the.
not hard though. Cause I mean, it's hard because we can't do like in 2K. We're like, well, Scottie Pippen versus Kyrie play. Like we can't do that, but we can take with what we know from that era and try to implement it now. Is like, yeah, if AD went back and played against Scottie Pippen, the
I
AD playing
mean,
now, AD's
because
washing Scottie
blocks
Pippen.
wasn't introduced until like what, like block keeping 70s.
Yeah, something like that. The late
So it's
70s.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's just different. That's why I say there's a goat of their generation. There's no definitive
I would say of
answer
the generation
for.
because Kobe is definitely in that. For me personally, Kobe's in that of like the early 2000s. I would say Kobe because Kobe had that. He had that. So
I remember like earlier one of our earlier episodes, I said that Kobe's not even in my top 10, and I'm still holding true to it. Like I cannot put somebody that's basically spent their whole career trying to pattern their whole after Michael Jordan and say that this guy's like he's in the GOAT conversation. He's
he
not.
is.
He's
No
not.
one. I'm sorry.
He's
No
not.
one's seeing Kobe, bro. I'm sorry. No one's seeing Kobe. That's just me.
I will say this though, he is the second greatest two guard of all time. I'll give
This
him that.
who's number one?
MJ.
True.
Oh.
I was like,
Oh.
I didn't young kid. I'm like, ooh, oh, yeah. I was like, wait,
In terms of
Say
two
that
guards,
again.
in terms of two guards all time is MJ, is Kobe, is D Wade, is Allen Iverson, and everybody else.
that makes sense. Solid list. I mean, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Solid list. I mean, yeah, LeBron just going back to LeBron James. Super teams, I think they're dead. You don't Giannis just
Really
said,
not.
yeah, they are. They're dead because like Giannis
Russell
just made
Westbrook, bro. Even though, like, all right, because how do we believe that this is gonna work out? This big three.
I don't believe it's gonna.
I don't think it's gonna work out either. So on paper, this is a big three. On paper, because you have three also. You have LeBron James, four-time league MVP. Russell Westbrook, league MVP. Anthony Davis, who knows? If he stays healthy throughout the rest of his career, he's in his prime, he might win an MVP or two. It could happen.
It can, it can, but I just don't see that experiment working.
But in terms of play style, I just don't see how it's gonna work out.
Listen, because you had in Houston, he only had one All-Star, which was James Harden. I mean, he played with James Harden. You saw how that worked out. Russell Westbrook doesn't play fair when it comes to playing with other superstars.
Yeah, I mean
He doesn't play fair.
that's
He did pretty
proven.
well with Bradley Beal.
I mean, yeah, Bradley. I mean, but not no diminish to Bradley Beal, but Russ played with James Harden and Kevin Durant, and both of them were just like, nah. Like he played with James Harden twice in OKC and in Houston, and then KD was like, "Nah, I'm good," and they both James Harden and KD are like, "Nah, we can't do this because we gotta go." So it's like, it's at one point he has to ask, like, is it really me? Like he really has to ask himself, am I the issue?
He has to be asking himself
He
that.
has to,
That
bro,
got to keep
because
him
you
up
tell
at
me
night.
James Harden ran the block another time. It was like, bro, I'm gonna go to bed. Like, cuz was
And
like,
still
yo,
said no.
him and KD in a group chat, like, we just gonna go to the Nets, my nigga, because this man tripping. Like,
And you know what's crazy? They said that Kawhi basically chose PG over Russ. Because like Russ called Kawhi, so he wanted to team up
he
with
played
him.
with PG too.
Yeah,
Oh my god. And PG was like, I got it.
I
Yeah,
totally
Russ is
forgot
the
about
problem.
that.
Russ doesn't play fair. Russ does not. I don't because everyone was.
You know, it's crazy. I love Russ, man. Like Russ is like to me, he's this generation's Allen Iverson. In terms of, like one of my favorite players to watch. Like
Yeah,
because
for
he does it his
sure.
way. But I'm just mad that he's in this situation now because I do not want LeBron James to win another ring. But at the same time, like I want Russ to win. You know, I want Russ to be rewarded for his efforts because I don't want it to go down as Russ go down as one of these guys. Okay, he played with all these superstar talents and never won shit.
Dog, but
Because he
but the
has yet
thing
to
is,
even get out the
him.
first round since KD left
It's
OKC.
him. It's
No,
literally
It's
actually, no,
him.
that's not true. That's not true. They did in the bubble, but if you exclude that, he's always lost in the first round.
Russell Westbrook is his own supervillain. He's his own worst
He
enemy
just
because
his ego.
not his ego, but his ego and his pride. Because again, you play with Kevin Durant, James Harden twice. You play with Paul George, and now you play with Bradley Beal in an upcoming superstar. Because Bradley Beal is dropping buckets, and you have nothing to show for playing with these future Hall of Famers. At one point, you have to ask yourself, "Yo, am I the problem?" And Russell Westbrook has to ask himself, "Am I the issue going into the Lakers?" Because if he has the same attitude he's had in OKC and in Houston, he brings that to the Lakers. They're not winning anything. So
And,
unless he's okay with being the number 3 option, and if he's not, they're not winning anything.
and you know who is another player, like an all-star caliber player that had those same questions asked about
Oh,
him?
here we go.
I'm curious who.
Who do you think I was gonna say, Donovan?
No, please go ahead.
Carmelo
Because I
Anthony.
don't. Oh, okay, all right. I thought you was gonna say Chris Paul.
No, nah. Forget Chris Paul, man. His time came and went. He's never gonna win a ring. So just stick to those State Farm commercials, man.
I ain't gonna lie,
Disrespectful.
Ladale do have a point. Chris Paul had one chance to get it, and he's an avatar. When the world needed him most, he vanished, and it wasn't. He just didn't come through.
I mean, it was perfectly
He
set up.
didn't
It was perfectly set up
vanish
for
per
him.
se.
It was perfectly set up for him.
He
Everything
had
is right
Devin
there for on the
Booker.
silver platter, and he still came up short. So
Yeah.
like we're not talking about Chris Paul again no more on
Yeah.
the show. At least I'm not.
Melo,
I'm not.
he's-
We got to get him on the
You gotta get Chris
podcast.
Paul on the show, and he'll be like, "Hey, so we talk about me." It's like, "Damn, we really got cuts on the show. That's crazy."
He's on that. But Carmelo Anthony, because Carmelo Anthony, rumor has it that he might be interested in signing with the Lakers.
Why are you signing the banana?
So just
LeBron?
that's what I'm saying. Like with LeBron, man, with these super teams, bro.
All
Like
these old ass niggas don't know what they doing.
LeBron loves to stack the deck in his favor. It's the LeBron James way, and his fans hate to admit it. But they always say, like, "Oh, LeBron, like, he doesn't have that much help." Like, look at Jordan. Like, look at all the super teams in the past. Like,
I
come
hate
on, bro.
LeBron fans. I hate LeBron fans with passion.
Like, if they get Carmelo Anthony and they bring back Dwight Howard, even though they're both past their prime, this is why this is why I try to tell you, Donovan. Like, it doesn't matter you're past your prime all-star.
That's what I'm.
An all-star that basically declines into a role player is better than a role player that always was a role player.
Yeah, I totally get that. But to say, I don't know. If he would have had just AD and Melo, I wouldn't necessarily call it a super team because, like you said, they're past their prime.
AD's not past his prime.
80's still.
Melo. I'm talking about Melo.
Melo gonna get you a smooth 15 though.
Yeah, Melo
like,
Melo gave you a smooth 15. You're not getting that from Marquise Morris.
So would you still include him if?
No, listen.
So all right, let's say Philadelphia acquired Melo. Would you still consider them a super team?
No, because I don't consider Ben Simmons to be an all-star caliber player, despite what his accolades say.
Thank you.
I mean, well, his accolades definitely say the definition of an all-star, but yeah, you're right.
Bro, that's like saying stats matter, but that's all on paper. If you're not hooping,
exactly, bro,
matter. You could be
he obviously hooping just enough to get these accolades.
No, because the East is weak.
The East has been weak for the past 5-10 years.
Is Ben Simmons an all-star if he's in the Western Conference?
No, hell no.
He's not getting a nod over Dame.
I mean,
He's not
he'll
getting a nod
probably
over
average a
Luka.
triple-double with some of the shooters in the West.
He's not getting in
He
over
needs to score
Steph.
points to get a triple-double. He's not getting a triple-double in the West. No.
I mean, he still scores like 12
All right.
Barely.
garbage points.
Barely scores 12.
Okay. Last point before we move on to our Simone Biles topic. Ben Simmons, right? He's classified as a point guard, right?
He needs to be forward.
I don't even know what the fuck he's classified as.
He's
Nah,
a point
But
guard.
yeah, let's say point guard.
In the All-Star battle, he's considered to be a point guard.
Yeah.
Let's say he's in the Western Conference, right? Is he getting in over Steph Curry? No.
Damn,
What you mean?
Is he
Like in
getting over-
terms of what?
All-Star
In terms of All-Star votes,
Oh, no.
is he getting in over Dame?
No.
Is he getting in over Luka?
Whew, fuck.
No.
still got Donovan
Is he
Mitchell.
That's a
Is he
hard,
getting-
solid no.
Donovan
Is he
Mitchell.
getting in over Devin Booker?
No, what the
Why are you thinking about this?
I mean,
No, there's no what the Donovan, you're not making any sense, my boy. You
Yo, this nigga thinking
I mean, wasn't
He
Devin
said
Booker a
Booker,
reserve?
Devin Booker
the
dropped
fact that
40.
Devin Booker was a
Wait,
reserve
wait,
in the West, that just shows you right there.
Devin Booker dropped 2 40-point playoff games back to back. Ben Simmons can't make a damn free throw. This is not a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, but
Donovan
defense. That's what people defense.
Defense?
Yeah.
You talking about defense right now? Oh my god, defense. That's
I
what
had to
we're
pull up
talking
the
about.
Allen Iverson.
Donovan
Yeah, we
Mitchell
talking
is
about
beating Ben
defense.
Simmons in the All-Star. Like Donovan Mitchell is beating him in All-Star voting.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so
And Paul
you're so
George.
quick with Donovan Mitchell, but Devin Booker, no. What the?
And Paul George, he's not getting over Paul George either.
Oh yeah, Paul Pandemic P.
Yeah.
Even though he Pandemic P, Paul George still. Ben
And
Simmons.
then you have guys that have yet to even make the team. Jamal Murray, CJ McCollum. He's not getting in over them either.
No.
So what we
Maybe
talking
over
about?
Jamal Murray,
It's
but-
only because Ben Simmons.
Not even Jamal Murray.
It's because he's in the East. It's because he's in the East. That's literally it. And when in the East is now looking up. So now is Ben Simmons really going to be an All-Star next year because the East are now getting their own All-Star?
I don't even think he's going to be in the NBA next year, but
The Shanghai
yeah.
Sharks.
You see, Tom is not consistent because he just contemplated whether Devin Booker will get in over Ben Simmons, Ben Simmons over Devin Booker. Now all of a sudden,
he sure still ain't playing for
Ben
Philadelphia.
Simmons is going to be in the league.
And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't know.
And Klay Thompson is coming back too, so he's not getting in on
Klay
Klay
Thompson.
Thompson. either.
Oh, shit, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Klay
So
Thompson.
So
That might
Messi
be
was
the end of his All-Star run.
You still have De'Aaron Fox who's going to drop 25 easy.
And he ain't even getting an All-Star game yet.
And he didn't even.
And John Morant.
So is the question well, obviously the
Devin
West
Booker's
is
gonna
better
be
than
a
the
water
East.
boy in the All-Star weekend, nigga. Hell no. No.
If he's not in the East, he's not getting in.
That's true.
That's the title of the episode.
I'll agree with that.
He's not in the East. He's not getting an All-Star because he's not.
Because
Simple.
all the best guards are in the West. If we being real,
The East only got
Yeah.
Trae Young.
James Harden, Kyrie Irving, those two are on the same team. Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown, mate.
Well, he could be a 3, but they
Yeah.
count him as a 2.
We only named 4 players.
Yeah.
The So what are you talking about? Yeah, no, Ben Simmons. No, that was stupid.
But I'm just saying that he has the accolades, and
Accolades
yes,
don't.
We
Ben
just
Simmons
explained to
is
you why
trash.
the accolades don't matter, bro.
Ben Simmons is trash, but his height and his
Doesn't
ability
mean-
to get to the basket and his
All right.
defensive and his
All right.
playmaking
No.
All right, last point.
still keeps.
Donovan. Would you be saying
Yeah.
all this shit? Would you be saying all this shit about Ben Simmons right now if he was not on the 76ers?
Nah,
All right, thank you.
Philly ride or die. You got me.
Put it off.
Not gonna die with no NBA finals too.
Speaking of ride or die, right? Let's see how I'm gonna segue into this shit. I have to,
Speaking about mental health,
Right, come on.
because Miss Simone Miss Simone Biles is supposed to be ride or die for her team in the women's gymnastics, right? But she out the last second she decided that you know what, it wasn't conducive for her mental health to participate. It was basically affected her team. They ended up instead of getting a gold medal, they got a silver medal. So Miss Simone Biles, she's basically been criticized all throughout social media. From I guess you could say within the black community and some trolls, some saying that like she's supposed to be the GOAT and the GOAT just quit. Like Michael Jordan would never do that. Kobe Bryant, Tom
Black
Brady
people once again gatekeeping.
Wait,
would never
what,
do that.
nigga? You say
Yeah, I said it once again. Black people gatekeeping.
All right, so
anyways,
I'm gonna just get straight to the point. So did Simone Biles quit on her team, Donovan?
No,
AKA Uncle Ruckus.
no. At the end of the day, your mental health is above all. That's the way I see it.
For sure.
I mean, when it
That's all
comes
you
to
got?
sports,
Yeah, I mean, what else? It's Simone Biles. Like she has everything. Like she can retire if she wants to. And the person that came in and replaced her also won a medal. So
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the agent.
no harm, no
I read
foul.
TikTok.
I should have said the agent chick because she got a name. What's her
That's
name? Sanaya Lee.
highly prejudiced. Don't say that. He said the Asian chick.
What is her name then?
I'm gonna look it
The
up. I
young
think it's
lady who was
Sanaya
on.
Lee. I think
Yeah, because we don't want to butcher it.
Nah, the young lady who won the gold medal.
Sunisa Lee. There we go.
Sunisa Lee.
Sunisa Lee.
Okay, yeah.
Now the Sunisa Lee. You know what I'm saying?
So she did her thing. So like I said, no harm, no foul. It's
I just
yeah.
think I think it's commendable that athletes are really taking their mental health serious because it matters and they're human. Just because they do something and get paid a lot of money to do something that you could do, but you're not good at it, that doesn't mean that they're not human. So, and I think I was saying y'all off air, I think it was a medication issue because she has ADHD and she takes ADHD medicine and she didn't have it. She's never performed without it. And so for her to have like all this anxiety and stuff and not have a way to deal with it, would it have been better if she went out there and lost? Now everyone's like,
Right, yeah.
it was the damn you do, damn you don't situation. If she performed without it and she knew she wasn't going to perform up to the standard that she could with the medication and she didn't place at all, now everybody hates her because she's washed or whatever. But she steps out and doesn't play. Oh my God, so you're not going to make everybody happy. At least she made herself happy, so I can respect that. You can't make everybody happy, especially when you play sports.
Those are all valid points, but do you think she pulled out more so to like protect her reputation? Because, like you said, she couldn't take her medicine under the Olympic guidelines in Japan, right? So, do you think she basically pulled out? Was it more so to protect her legacy, or was it like, as you said, to like protect her mental health?
I mean, protect what? She's already the goal. Like
no, it's both.
Because like Noel said, like all right, like if she's unable to have access to her medicine, like what if she underperforms? Like they don't win any medals or something like that. Then everybody, but she said she was the GOAT.
She's still the GOAT. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, she is the GOAT, no doubt. But it's
the thing is, like, even if she lost,
playing devil's advocate.
Listen, like if she lost, and she's like, yeah, I didn't have my medicine, and you beat me because I. The thing is, if she performed without her medicine and she lost, and she comes back with her medicine and washes everybody, that just means whoever plays, you won by technicality because I didn't have my medicine. But with my medicine, I'm washing everybody. So either way, she's still the GOAT. I mean, to play devil's advocate, yeah, I think it's both. I think there's nothing wrong with wanting to protect your legacy. There's nothing wrong with that because if you know you're the best and you know you couldn't perform at your best without this thing, I wouldn't perform. If I knew that I was gonna lose and I knew that I was not going to be the best in that moment without what I needed, then yeah, I wouldn't play. I wouldn't perform, of course, because everyone wants to protect their legacy. So there's no harm in that, and her mental health as well. Like, there's no harm in doing both.
But how do we feel about because the women within our community, the black community, they also about like the lack of support for black women. Because he's been under criticism. Naomi Osaka has been under criticism. Sha'Carri Richardson, who we covered a couple of weeks back, has been under criticism. So how do we feel about, like what's our stance as far as like, do we feel like black women should be above criticism given like our history in this country and how, they're treated within society, or do you feel like they should be above Like they should be, like like they should be included like everybody else, like the LeBrons of the world, the Chris Pauls who I rag on basically a lot of the times. So, how do we feel about that?
I don't think that they're above it. I think that they just want to be treated like human beings because there's a lot of like I said, there's a disparity when it comes to athletes and talking about mental health. And you saw it in the NBA, Kyrie and Kevin Love. That's I always go back to that. Essentially, Kyrie and Kevin Love dealing with the same things. They just deal with it differently. Kyrie just leaves without saying anything, but he's
Which
dealing
is
with it.
wrong. Which
Which
is
is, I
wrong.
mean, which is wrong. We're not gonna say it's right, but Kevin Love has sat out from games because of his mental health, and nobody. And then the NBA PA, they put him in front of like league or player evaluations or something. That he gets an ESPN cover story for it. He talks about mental health. So there's definitely, I'm not gonna say an agenda, but there's definitely a bias when it comes to black athletes and when they talk about their mental health and not performing, and white athletes when it comes to their mental health and not performing. Because Kevin Love still played, but there was games Kevin Love didn't play because of his mental health. That's no knock to Kevin Love. It's just the way the society plays each card is differently. So I
And
think
another player,
they should be
DeMar
just
DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan has always been on record by his mental health.
yeah. DeMar DeRozan was like, yo, like, and then they looked at DeMar DeRozan like, why aren't you playing? Like you should just play. So it's like everyone's it's not about race when it is, and this is one of those situations where it is. Like when black women are saying, "Hey, I just can't perform right now because of my mental health." It's not that they're above criticism. It's just like just treat them like you're treating everybody else. That's really it. Because you have a swimmers. If a white woman who's a swimmer, or if a white person who's a swimmer on the Olympic team pulls out because I just can't perform right now, I highly doubt it would be as big of a story as it is right now. That's just it probably wouldn't be as big of a deal as it is now. But because it's Simone Biles or Sha'Carri Richardson or these prominent black women figures that we're trying to prop up, then then it is a bigger situation than it is. So I just
But
think they want to be treated equal.
you're definitely right about that. But is it because we put out like our people, our community? Like, is it because like we put each other under like unrealistic standards?
I mean, what unrealistic standards would you say? I guess I mean I would say what unrealistic
Like the need
standards.
to like always be like like perfect and like be perfect in the eyes of the public. You know what I'm saying? Like
Be the
always do like the
spokesperson for
right.
the black community.
Yeah, because they
The
say in the book
Jackie
of record
Robinson
like we have a
syndrome.
lack like of positive representation.
The
So
Jackie
if somebody see
Robinson
like a
syndrome,
Simone
basically.
Biles, so somebody see like a Simone Biles, or they see a Naomi Osaka or Shakari Richardson, they're like, like they see a lot of potential in this person and they gravitate towards them, and then they see this little moment of weakness, which is to me is not so much a moment of weakness. Okay, you're just being human. They're like, oh my god, like we were rooting for you, and then this happens. You see what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's what I mean by unrealistic sense of like just being
yeah,
perfect.
I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Maybe
I
because
definitely
like
agree.
Jackie Robinson already. What was the point that you was trying to make on that? No, I'm sorry, Hag.
No, it's the Jackie Robinson syndrome. It's like as our community, like when you're a prominent black figure, you're supposed, like you said, you're supposed to have this perfect cookie cutter clean image of this is what blah, 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 black. You're the first black, whatever. To me, I call it the Jackie Robinson syndrome because I dealt with that in high school, being the only black kid playing lacrosse and good at what I did. It was all like, oh well, he like you can't do this. Like I couldn't party, I couldn't do certain things because I knew people would be like, "Oh, well, why is so?" And I quit because of it. Because I didn't want that pressure on me to be that person and to be that because I knew I wasn't perfect. I was 16, 17. I wasn't perfect. So to have that, I understand. I literally understand that because in the black community we're not perfect. Shakari smoked some weed out of the way to cope with how she does it. There's people I go to college with that do the same exact thing that she does, but now she's a villain for doing it because she's an Olympian and because she's really good at what she does. It doesn't matter. Like they're all human. So, like you said, yeah, we do need to get rid of this Jackie Robinson. You have to be this perfect image of whatever because you're a black. you're a black athlete. No, we're black people that are human. That's it. So
Well
they should be
said.
treated as such.
It's
They're
like, well,
human beings just like everybody else.
I bet you feel like the moral of the story is just like, just be your own role model. Like, do
Yeah.
not put unrealistic expectations on people that you do not know because you don't
Don't
know their struggles.
and it's an unwanted pedestal. Like Shakari Richardson didn't ask to
That's
be
what I
put on
try
that
to break
pedestal.
down every day.
Sure.
Okay, white
Well,
man.
Ladale knows. I break down every fucking black stereotype that comes across. Like, I ain't trying to
Yeah.
be nobody's spokesperson or nobody's
Because
We
it
might
weighs
have
on
prominent
you.
figure.
It,
we might
Yeah,
have
it
to make the
does.
overcoming racial stereotypes part two for Tuck Talk. We might have
No,
to
we
do that.
do because I mean it's real because that stereotype for me it was, oh, you have to be this way. My coaches looked at me like this way. But when I played and I listened to a certain kind of music, I had this certain demeanor about myself. This black that black it was because when you play something like lacrosse, it was really a Native American sport, but it was really white, a wealthy, an affluent white sport. And so when you play it, they don't they don't look at you and think that you're one of the good ones. But when my pregame is I'm in the weight room listening to Ice Cube, I'm listening to Future, and I'm listening to like black music, that's when it's like, oh well, I don't know if he can play. And when the kneeling happened and I knelt, they're like, we don't really want that business, around with you. So it's like I didn't want to be that perfect image for whoever, black or white. I was just like, I'm a player. I'm good at what I do, and I'm not just a token. I do what I do. So I was like, I don't want that. So I get that sense of not wanting to be that perfect role model because I wasn't. I was a 16, 17-year-old kid. I didn't want that pressure. I could have got because the thing is, the recruiters made it seem like that was my only way to go to college. I was like, bro, I got a 3.8 GPA. I don't need this to go to
Okay,
college.
shit, young blood.
I did it, and they made it seem like I needed that because I was a black kid who was good at sports, and they made it seem like I needed that to go somewhere. And I was like, I don't need this. I ended up going to HBCU, so I was like, I don't, I don't need this. So it was like, no, I don't need this perfect image. So I definitely wholeheartedly understand like that, and it sucks. And as a community, we gotta stop doing that because we're all human beings at the end of the day. And we're gonna make mistakes, and we're not gonna be your role models. Like Ladale said, be your own role model. I have role models, but don't take everything like that to heart because they're gonna disappoint you because every human does. We're all human, so it's like
Right.
someone's gonna disappoint you eventually if they're gonna do something that you don't like eventually. So
For sure. And that's also how cancel culture and all that stuff come about as well, because we put all these unrealistic expectations on people.
Yeah.
But
like that, they're perfect, and they're not. They're people with problems and issues and insecurities, and
The
we're
only
all
thing is they
people.
have a lot more followers than you, or
The only
it's
thing is they get paid to do something that you wish you could get paid to
yeah.
do. That's the only difference. That's really how I look at it. The only way they're different is because they get paid millions of dollars to do something that you wish you could do. That's literally it.
like and like Donovan said, only difference is that they have more followers. Like Noel said, only difference is that they have more money. But at the end of the day, once it's all said and done, we're all going down the same dirt. So nobody's above.
Basically.
At the end of
Well,
the day,
fat.
like,
Everyone's gonna get
Like,
a beer wooden box in the ground.
oh
So
wow.
some are going in the mausoleum, some are going in the wooden box, some are going in a nice casket, others are going to be cremated. But
I
at the end of
mean,
the day,
I got my request to have my ashes spread across the Midwest and Central Park, but
what
we
the
could
hell?
talk about that another
see,
time.
You
no, you
want your
gotta be on
ashes in
TikTok to
Kentucky?
understand what this dude be saying sometimes, man, because he's
This will
really going.
conclude the episode of the Out of Bounds podcast because apparently this man
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Donovan wants his ashes in Kentucky. Anyways,
yeah, yeah. We're gonna wrap this up. So, no, let everybody know where they can find you on social media. Anything that you got coming up.
uh, the No Austin on everything. Um, right now we trying to get off the racks. We're trying to knock out some episodes. I'm gonna try to get back in the article game, brushing up on this, the writing as I stem forward to my senior year and graduating with journalism. So we trying to get back into the heap of things right now. So yeah, that's really it. Off the racks, peep that coming soon. Articles coming soon. Photography shit. That's it.
The first episode of Outta Bounds is actually filmed. It's just a matter of when we go put it out. But stay tuned for that. It's gonna be
Yeah.
right here on the channel. Mr. Donnie. Let them know where they can find you. My good sir.
You can follow me down below. Just picked up my 35 millimeter camera for the first time in a couple of weeks, so
This is all other
trying
shit.
to trying to get back into that. Brushing up on the music business and stuff like that. Maybe become an agent. Probably not, but yeah, just
Nah,
working
man,
out.
go for everything. Go for everything that you set your eyes on, man.
And I'm trying to
Anything
be
that
over here like Noel, reading a whole bunch of books on the music business and stuff like that. It's really interesting. It really is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's the music business is interesting. It's interesting,
Yeah.
man. But yeah,
as for me, you guys can find me at Ladale the Fashionista on IG. Also, be on the lookout to follow us on True Urban Culture, our Instagram at True Urban Culture. You can hit me up there for anything in regards to like event coverages. If you want us to do like video shoots, photo shoots, if you want like press, like within like our website. By the way, our website will soon be back fully up and running very soon. Also, be on the lookout for information regard to Tuck Fashion Week. We're gonna release that on the True Culture IG page tomorrow morning. So you'll find out all the details as far as like the dates, where it's gonna be, tickets, all that good shit. Designers that's gonna be in the lineup. We will be releasing all that information as the weeks come. Now, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you enjoyed this week's episode of Out of Bounds. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, the share button, the subscribe button. Also, leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace out.